Hello and welcome back to my next video, and I'm going to call this Salt and Pepper Plus. I'm going to call this Salt and Pepper Plus because salt and pepper shakers, one of the cool things about collecting them is the unique ways they kind of mask that they're salt and pepper shakers, or they work in different themes. But in addition to that, sometimes it's kind of fun when they add an extra thing to it. I'm going to start out with a modern one. And this one's actually a poodle, or a set of poodles, and it's you can get it off Amazon. And it starts out, you get this cute little box just like that, and with it comes these two little poodles. Speaking of poodles, my poodle's making a lot of noise down there. So here's the cute little poodles that you get, little fluffy tails like that. And I'm thinking, oh, this is kind of big for it. It's got these little hooks so you can hang it off to the side like that. Just hang it very carefully off to the side. You can hang it that way, or you can put them inside. So I thought, oh, and that's the way they show it on Amazon, but they kind of lean from this way and that. They hang better off to the side. Well, what goes in the center? Well, this is where you can put in your packets. So you can put your sugar packets in here. So it's kind of a modern way of doing it versus the old way where they actually had a little pot that went along with it. And so here is where you have your salt and pepper, obviously pepper, and then your extra packets of sugar. So that's one different way you can do that. Old style salt and pepper shakers, they might have included something, put this out of here so you can see. So here's a cute little bird. So it's a bird with his hole going up on the top here. Like you might think water would be shooting through it. These are the little salt and pepper shakers. You can see the little holes right there. So this spot up here on the top is where you would put some toothpicks. So you've got salt and pepper, and then you have your toothpicks that you can just pull out of there when you're done. Kind of an interesting thing. I remember growing up that a lot of the older generation at the time, that was the big thing, is after you got done at the diner, you grabbed a toothpick. I don't see that so much now. It seems like a good thing actually to do, but I think a lot of the bad guys in the movies had toothpicks, and so it kind of fell out of fashion, the whole toothpick thing. But you still need a toothpick from time to time. Another one that I think is cool is from a vintage collection that I have. Is the mustard pot. So they call it a mustard pot. Here's an old one. This one is from Japan, and it is a salt and pepper shaker set. So the theme, of course, is dice. And kind of cool is that you can see that it has the holes along the top. There's a 6 and the 1 on the bottom, and then the 3. So depending on how you spin this, you got the different ones. Same here. And if you look in the center one, it's got a tray that all that sits in with the different things. And then at the top, here's the little mustard pot. Now this one's missing the spoon that goes in with it. It's hard to find them with their original spoons in them. But nevertheless, this is a vintage piece. I have another vintage piece that is the mustard or honey pot, they called it. And it is a poodle again. This one you'll see a lot on eBay. And it's a 2-piece set. So it comes apart right here like this. And so you have your holes along the top. This one's made by Napco. And they join the center. They're actually quite large. And then in the center is the fire hydrant. So here's this fire hydrant that sits in the middle. And it's got the little spoon on this. That comes off, and then there's the little honey pot. Now this is a replacement spoon, so this is not the vintage spoon that came with this one. Again, it's really hard to find the original spoon that goes with these, but if you can find, just like this for those condiment sets, and one of those little ceramic spoons, usually those fit in there just okay, because that's what this is. This is condiments. And so you tended to have a mustard pot or a honey pot that they called it, if you're looking for those vintage pieces. But I have one of the most vintage pieces of all, and I haven't found this one anywhere. This is from my grandmother's collection. And this